Dinner and a Movie is brought to you by Hamilton Walkers.
Father's Day is just around the corner, and the movies are full of memorable dads. And here to look at movies with a few of those memorable dads are our film critics, Chuck Koplinski and Pam Powell. We start with Mr. Chuck Koplinski. I hear perhaps a little under the weather today, but you're pulling through for us?
Little bit. Grabbed something I shouldn't have, and my back is paying for it. So I'm just going to lay around here for the next couple of days.
All right. Well, we will try not to hurt your back, but your mouth's going to have to move a little bit as we talk about your favorite movies with memorable dads.
Well, I'm going to take two obvious choices here. There have been a lot of dads that have been great in film history, and really none other than Atticus Finch from, of course, To Kill a Mockingbird with Gregory Peck. Again, I know this is an obvious choice, but it's a movie that I don't think that you can watch often enough. Peck won the Oscar for playing Atticus Finch, the single father to a young man, a young girl, who end up seeing their father in a completely different light when he takes on a trial at the turn of the century in which he is defending an African-American man against a jury that is obviously bigoted, and the odds are stacked against him. Peck gives a performance of true heroism. And like I say, I know that many people have seen this, but it can't be seen enough, especially with what we're dealing in right now. It's a movie that needs to be revisited, especially with the message that it has. And it's certainly a movie that needs to be seen by younger people. So perhaps sit down, your son, your daughter, your grandson, your granddaughter, watch this one.
And your second one is The Pursuit of Happiness. It's a good one, too.
I really like that one. Pursuit of Happiness, one of Will Smith, arguably Will Smith's best performance, as a guy by the name of Chris Gardner. And this is a true story. A guy who really is down and out as the film is concerned. He ends up homeless with his son, played by Smith's own son, Jaden Smith. And it's about how he gets back on his feet in an effort to not only just take care of himself and his son, but also his dignity. It's a movie that is at times quite trying. Emotionally, but in the end, it's something that just has a great poignant payoff because you see how much this dad loves his son and that he'll do anything for him. And it's never maudlin, it's never overdone. It's very sincere in what it does, and that's one of the reasons I like that one.
Got it. Well, let's move on to Pam. And Pam, I can only assume that since, as we're talking about dads, Chuck bypassed the Simpsons movie, that it is one of your two choices.
Oh, you know what? There were so many. I am just shocked that I didn't think about putting that one on my list, Tim.
Maybe
but thank
next
you.
Year. You're welcome.
Maybe next year, or maybe not. One of my favorite movies, and it's a hidden gem, actually. It's Morris from America. And I think it's really been an overlooked film. When it came out a few years ago, it made one of my top lists of independent films. It stars Craig Robinson as Curtis and Marquise Christmas as Morris. The two father-son pair are moving to Germany, where dad is a soccer coach. Morris doesn't know anybody. His mom isn't there. He doesn't have any friends, no family, and he doesn't even really know much German. This is a coming of age movie, and a lot of the situations are like pretty darn ordinary, but he makes them extraordinary. Marquise is absolutely incredible as this young boy who wants to somehow hold on to a little bit of America and be a rapper and a bit of a gangster. And in his heart, he is so much more than that. And he falls in love or has a first crush with a girl, makes a lot of really bad choices. Dad is there to save him. And the comedy between the two of them feels very genuine and authentic, and situations are hilarious as well. I think it's really an overlooked film. Robinson is phenomenal in it, and I think Marquise is somebody that I would like to see in some more films.
I don't believe I've heard of your second choice, and maybe I've just missed it, but tell me about it.
You probably have not heard of it. In fact, I don't think a lot of people have. It's a foreign film, but American filmmakers have definitely heard of it because they wanted to remake it, which I think would have probably been a bit of an injustice. It's called Tony Erdmann, and it stars Sandra Huller as Inez and Peter Simon Ister as Winfred. And he actually becomes a different character in the movie. The two are estranged from one another. Dad wants to reconcile things, make things better between the two of them, and he travels to Bucharest, where she resides, and she is a high-power corporate person. She doesn't have any any time for him. She wants nothing to do with him and blows him off. He pretends to go home, but he doesn't go home. He turns around, puts a wig on, and these incredibly huge dentures, and he becomes Tony. And he also infiltrates her corporate world and pretends to be a life coach. She's not very happy with this, obviously, but the two are forced to be together because everybody else seems to really love Tony. The two of them together have some remarkable interactions, and the final scene of the two of them together, I won't tell you what happens, but it's one that's very memorable to me and will last forever. I really enjoyed this film, and I hope it doesn't get remade because I don't think we would do it justice.
All right, sounds good. Just in time for Father's Day, 4 great choices with amazing dads in film. If you want the complete list, we'll connect you at our website, CILiving.tv. And, of course, Chuck and Pam's Facebook page and website, always a good place to check out more reviews and even win stuff in the process. Thanks, guys.